has the answer. You have provided the questions, and we search the scriptures for the answers. Question number 1. How does a person draw near to God? And this is taken from both James chapter 4 verse 8 as well as Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 22, where it speaks about drawing near to God. And one viewer wants to know the details of how exactly does that take place. In both of these portions, it speaks about cleansing. It speaks about a cleansing that needs to take place. And there are 3 ways which we draw near to God. We draw near to Him through His Word, through prayer, as well as through obedience. But we also need to have that vital cleansing which takes place in a person's heart when they surrender to Christ, and when Christ comes and dwells within, and He does that starting work of making us ready to come into God's holy presence. And so you want to draw near to God. First of all, you must call upon Christ for His cleansing. But then, just as you draw near to a friend, someone near to you, you want to get to know them. We get to know God through His Word. We get to know Him by talking with Him through prayer. And just as I would want to attend to the words of someone whom I am drawing near to, listening to them, and being compliant with what their wishes are, so it is in obedience. Question number 2. When a disaster strikes, is God trying to get our attention? Yes, indeed, He is. And God is forever working that we might come into His presence, that we might set aside those things which so easily distract us in this world, and that our eyes might be set upon Him. How easily we are enamored by those things that are round about us. But the Lord, He would want to shake us and bring us into His presence. There are several portions of Scripture, such as in Job. Job endured various struggles and trials and storms. And in Job chapter 38, verse 1, we read, "Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, Who is this that darkens counsel?" Likewise, in chapter 40 and verse 6, "Then the Lord answered Job out of the storm and spoke. Who is this? Gird up your loins like a man, and I will instruct you, and you instruct me." We could also go to Jonah's storm. It was God who was pursuing Jonah even as he was trying to flee. And God in Exodus, He was the one who sent those plagues upon Egypt. So yes, when disaster strikes, we can see God not in cruelty, but in His mercy, wanting to bring us to Himself, wanting us to lift our eyes off of the things of this world, that our hope, our eternal confidence might be in Him. Question number 3. Departed saints in heaven are looking down on us, one viewer writes, and they want to know, is there scriptural support for this? The classic response is taken out of the account of Lazarus and the rich man in Luke chapter 16, and we begin with verses 19 and following. "Now there was a rich man, and he habitually dressed in purple and fine linen, joyously living in splendor every day." And it goes on from there to speak of how that the rich man, he went to hell, and the poor man, Lazarus, he went into Abraham's bosom, which was a picture of paradise, and they were yet aware of what took place in this world. We also come to 1 Corinthians and chapter 13 and verse 12, and here in the love chapter, the Apostle Paul says, "For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I will know fully, just as I have been fully known." one more portion, and it comes out of Philippians chapter 3 and verse 21. It talks about Jesus Christ, who will transform the body of our humble state into conformity with the body of his glory. I have to answer that no, the scripture does not clearly and plainly say that our loved ones who have gone on to glory are looking down on us. However, we ask the question, is heaven a place of greater awareness or less? Is it a place where we know more, or where our understanding is more limited than it is here? And we answer the question, we know more there. We then see clearly, and we are known even as we fully know. So that those who have gone before are looking down on us, we comprehend that, even though the scripture does not explicitly say these things. I trust these answers have been a help to you. If you have a question, send it to us and we will get to your question just as quickly as possible. Our mailing address is Faith to Live By, Box 426, Winnipeg, Manitoba, R3C 2H6. Heidi Taves and Rick Bowring come now, and they sing Angel's Carol, and that is followed by the male quartet to sing We Three Kings.